Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the first Swedish vehicle to ever come into World of Tanks Blitz, the beginning of a saga of lines. Now, of course, there are many Swedish vehicles in the game, and in fact, currently, I have selected on the Pan-European line, which shows you all of the Swedish vehicles. The Emil 2, Emil 1951, Emil 1. You move further on along, you've got the Stridsvagn M42, which was a very early Swedish tank. In fact, this was one of the first Swedish added, but it was not the first Swedish, and in fact, this tank is about 2-3 years later than the first Swedish tank that ever came into the game. In fact, you actually can't find it by searching on the Pan-European tree. You have to go to the unidentified nation, and here you will find the Swedish flag on the Stridsvagn 74A2. This is the first Swedish vehicle to ever come into World of Tanks Blitz. I remember all the way back when Wargaming was introducing this vehicle, I was so excited for it because it was an auto-loading tier 6 vehicle, and at the time it was very rare to find auto-loading vehicles at tier 6, especially a medium. This was the only auto-loading medium at tier 6, and it was a very fun one at that. First of all, it's got a pretty quick intro clip. I think it's a 1.5 second intro clip, which is of course very good for a tier 6 vehicle. That means in 3 seconds you're dealing almost 500 damage, or at least about 500 on an average every clip. The tank does have some big drawbacks though. Armor, definitely one of them. Just like the Stridsvagn M42, or whatever the tier 7, or tier 6, the tech tree one, they both have about no armor. They're both about the same armor as it is, and that's about none. But this tank has such a nice gun. I absolutely love the ability to dump a clip on the enemy tank and then just go la-da-da-da-da right back into cover. Now, I do want to be careful here because the enemy team does have some deadly mediums, and with our heavies, actually, you know what? Our team's going to this side, so I'm not going to worry too much. You can see, though, this tank's not super fast. It was actually a very well-balanced vehicle for the time it came to the game. There's one shot into the spike, there's 2 shells, and there's 3, and that is 473 hit points taken off of that vehicle. That is how quick you're able to rack up damage in this vehicle. And you can now see why having a 1.5 inch clip may be a little bit quicker than it should be. But, well, let's miss our shot onto you, but it's fine. Is he going to poke it again? Maybe not. He took about 184 off us. I thought he was going to poke it again, and that would have made it much more worth it for us, but it's not the end of the planet. We got 5 more seconds, then we'll have another clip ready to dump. We got the Lozas off to the side there. Come on, Churchill gun carrier. I don't think he's going to keep on going. All right, let's look off to the side over here. Hello, we got the spike. Hello, mate. There's 1 shell in. Let's load a premium. Come on, and fire. You know what? Even though we had a damaged aimer, it's fine. We still got the shell out. That's all that matters. Now all we have to do is reload. In another 5 seconds, we'll have our whole clip ready to dump onto the enemy Crusader. Actually, we got the BDR G1B over here. A very, very deadly tier 5 vehicle because, of course, of the single shot damage it carries is pretty dang deadly. And we've also got the Crusader chasing us, which has a ridiculous reload. Oh, wait, that's right. They changed the tank. It now carries the auto-loading gun. I completely forgot about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get some shells into the BDR. Let's get 1 into him. There you go. There's 1 more. And let's get the shell into the Crusader. He's, of course, running that auto-loading gun. And what we're going to do is we're going to let him ram us because he's going to die, I'm pretty sure. Oh, come on, Wargaming. Really? Really? You do this to me? Why are you doing me dirty? Well, he's going to die anyway. So, yeah. No more Crusader. Let's reload our clip again, and let's start making our way over towards the SU-100Y. Now, in this first game here, you can see that the tank's pretty good. It's got a very good amount of DPM for an autoloader. It's got decent penetration. It's not great, but I will say the aiming time is very good for, of course, a clip. It's not only got great aiming time, but overall, it's just a really, really fun and a fantastic tank. And I'd say it's one of the best tier 6s you can probably get your hands on, especially because it's always very cheap. There's 2 shells, and let's see if we can get a shell into that 1S. Oh, I didn't really care if I died. I just wanted to penetrate 1 more shell there. As I always say, damage is key, and I always like to get damage out. But, oh well, we're going to win the game either way. M6 got that shell out, and there you go. Our first game was a pretty nice victory, but, of course, that's what you get when you find a tier 6 game. Now, what is special about the tank? Relatedly, it's not special anymore. It used to be really special because when it first came out, this thing was ahead of the normal Swedish tanks by literally years and years, 2 or 3 years before the actual Swedish tank line came out. So for the whole time, this was the only Swedish vehicle in the game. Not only was this one of the only Swedish vehicles in the game, it was also really unique because, as I said at the time it was released, there really weren't autoloaders like this vehicle that were at low tier, that had the ability to dump really quickly. The AMX-12T had, I think, a 3-second injure clip, so the fact that this thing was 1.5 was insane. It's just such a fun vehicle. It looks cool. I think that this camo looks great with it, because this is actually like an actual Swedish camo that would have been used, I think, by Sweden. Let me know in the comments if you guys know, because I know there are some of you guys that are savvy in actual real World War II things. I like knowing about the tanks, but I don't really know too much more about the camouflages and where these tanks are actually used, apart from, like, I think the Tigers were used in the Battle of the Bulge and stuff like that, but honestly, I couldn't even tell you. Let's see what we can do here. We got AMX-12Ts, Cromwell Football, and we've got 2 Magnus. Wow, that's a weird lineup. 2 Magnus. I don't really like Magnus, to be fair, because they got big alpha, they got good pen, and they got decent DPM. When you add all those things together, they can be a pretty strong opponent. But doesn't look like they're pushing over here, and with that 3485 right out in the open, oh, you know I'm going to try and dump a clip into him. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. There's 1. There's 2. And let's get that 3rd shell out. That is 476 hit points taken off of that 3485. And over half of his hit point pool in total is gone in just that amount of time. That is how incredibly quick this tank dumps out its damage. There's the VK. There's 1 shell. Oh, come on. I wanted to get a shell into that Magnus. I guess we still got it. We did hit 3 different opponents, but you know what? That's still the same damage. All 3 AP shells, so I'll take it. Not bad. Again, you can see what makes this tank so deadly is that clip. Just the ability to dump out such a quick amount of shells so quickly in the first place is awesome. And I would say for $15 or less, you could probably get your hands on this tank. It's not a bad deal. I wouldn't say, obviously, like, go crazy and buy it, but it's definitely not a bad deal. I wouldn't say don't go for it. I personally love this tank. It holds a lot of sentimental value to me because it's a vehicle that I got all the way back when the first Blitz Fair. I think this was the first Blitz Fair, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments, but I think it was the first Blitz Fair. If not, it was the second, but to what I remember, it was the first Blitz Fair this came out. Let's get that 3rd shell into you, and let's back up vents again. We do have a Magnus on the rear, but that's not too bad. We're just going to reload our shells here, and hopefully we should be able to get some nice shots into this Magnus. There's a bounce, actually. Wow, Magnus has got some pretty strong armor, to be fair, but we still took off about 256 with that first clip. And, well, in just a couple seconds here, we'll be reloaded once again. Let's reload. 3, 2, 1, and come on, fire. Get that final shell out. Yeet! There you go. 2,301 damage later. Not too bad at all. That's the Stritzwagen for you. It's a great tank. It's fun. It's got a great clip. Against Tier 6 opponents and Tier 5s, it is able to ruin, absolutely ruin Tier 6 and 5 opponents. You saw there, literally, in a matter of 3 seconds, I took off half an entirety of the T-3485's hit point pool, and that's pretty impressive. It's able to just dump shell after shell after shell out, and that makes it a great vehicle, in my personal opinion. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you got this vehicle when the first Blitz Fair came out, let me know, because I personally love this tank. It's something that holds a lot of value to me. Obviously, it's not the best vehicle. As I said, there's other vehicles, and honestly, if you wanted to get what this playstyle is almost exactly like, literally go get your hands on the Skoda T25, because this tank has pretty much the same clip. You'll see here, it's got 1700 DPM. It's a little bit less accurate, but nonetheless, it's still got a 1.5 inch clip, and yeah, it's pretty much the same tank. So, hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy amount. But other than that, please consider seeing me in the next one. Bye-bye.